It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you got to do that. I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Yeah, okay. Breakdown Friday. We back. Joseph Ward, Patrick Irvin, Professor Carl Tone Jones. As you can see, we are weighing in on the P. Diddy situation. But of course, you already know we come from different angles because he's in the same lane as Tiffany Henyard, as far as I'm concerned. Him and Tiffany Henyard are in the same lane. Black people who abuse power, and they abuse power the same way the white folk abuse power, and then they terrorize their own. They recognize their weakness towards the white people, the white power structure. They recognize their weaknesses. To that matter of fact, Diddy is submissive to that white power structure, but then he uses the power that he has, or the leverage that he has, and the influence that he has in the music industry to terrorize people. Allegedly, from the information we've come across, this man been terrorizing people for a long time. Now, I just want to go on record because I've been saying this in person, like face to face to people since I was in middle school. So, and I was in middle school between like 95 and 98. So give you a framework of how long I've been saying this. I thought something was wrong with Buddy the first time I saw him. I didn't think, I was like, either the elevator don't go all the way up or the building don't have an elevator. But something wrong with this dude. And come to find out, it is something wrong with him. Of course, at that time, my juvenile mind, I thought, he was, meant extra chromosomes or missing some chromosomes. I don't want to offend these communities because I don't want these communities to think that I'm saying that Diddy is one of them, because I'm not. But I just thought Diddy might have been, curated in an incubator or in the sock or something like that. I don't know. I didn't think he was a regular human being or something. Like I say, the elevator may not have gone all the way up, or the building don't have an elevator. That's the energy I'm on with this dude right now. But I'm also on this energy, not just for him, but for the people who've been around him and the people who've been supporting this and the people who knew this was going on and helped to facilitate this. Because a person don't come a tyrant by themselves. They have others helping them to become a tyrant. So PC, as you take your sip, what you think about just this whole Diddy situation and everything that have come out of this situation and that has led to him giving this apology?
I think everybody need to apologize to the so-called conspiracy theorists who have been out like this for decades.
Boy,
you know what I'm saying? That's the first thing, because when it was cool to be the part, but it says more about the black community than it does about Puffy, because we always get to this place, right? And you can even go to like Obama when he was the president and things of that nature. We never want to hold people accountable to us when they're in a position where we can jock ride, or we can, jump on the bandwagon, or we can put them up in a place where we, utilize them to celebrate the image of all black people. We never want to look back into the ways that they treat us and the things that they don't do for us and the things they do to us. And, you know what I'm saying? So the way I see this whole Puffy situation is he is one of many who have been put in this position where they don't feel like they have to be accountable to us. We create that buffer ourselves. We've even created words like hater when you want to call people out for certain actions and activities and things of that nature.
Haters.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And we sort of castigate anybody that will question questionable antics of people who have risen in clout, notoriety, and fame in our eyes. And I think it's kind of like poetic justice that he's dealing with what he's dealing with right now. I mean, I'm not ever going to be a person to jump on the bandwagon when somebody black is under the you know what I'm saying, under the microscope, because I feel like the white media is going to do that job for us. They don't need our help. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's one of theirs, they do the bare minimum in terms of that. Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein got away with it for years. And it was covered, not just by the media, but also powerful people that, you know what I'm saying, that they were in cahoots with. So, but I feel like when it comes to us, the white media is going to do its job in terms of assassinating the character of somebody, or just, you know, basically pulling the carpet from under them, the rug from under them, and they don't need our help for that. You know what I'm saying? Our job is to make sure we don't create more puffies. That's our job. Our job is to make sure that we tell people that there's a price to be paid if you want to do things a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So if you move and operate in a certain way, just understand this comes with this. Because I don't have a lot of sympathy for the people that, you know, fell in line with this. A lot of people put a price on this so they were easily bought and paid off. Now they all want to come out and do all this, that, and the other. But your integrity was, you know what I'm saying, revealed at the moment in which all this stuff was going down. So, you know, that's just my take on the whole Puffy situation. And you know, people, it's funny, right? Because I was watching an interview with Skinny Joey Merlino. He was one of the mob bosses here in Philly, and he was talking about the fact that a lot of these cats, he doesn't trust a lot of these cats that have now come out and sort of rebuke the mob life, because the only reason they did it is because they got caught. Yeah. So that's how I look at this apology from Puffy. Yeah. Like, nigga, the apology's 8 years old. Like, if you were truly sorry, the apology happens then. It don't happen 8 years when you got to make a public, like, you know what I'm saying? And I understand this thing was leaked to the public at a specific time for a reason, you know, and Puffy, I think, recognizes that as well.
And it was buried for 8 years for a reason as well. So if you so sorry, why the hell was the tape buried for 8 years?
Right. He had it. He bought it. Rumor has it that he bought it off the hotel. He bought the tape. But so why do you still have the tape, Puffy?
Well, another question is, what? I always wondered what the hell, why did he name himself Puff Daddy? And then, you know, somebody, you know, alluded to, well, maybe he smoked. I don't think that's what he puffing. So, you know, yeah.
Well, the irony is, well, I don't know, because I don't know him personally, so I'm not going to speak on that.
I'm being shady. I ain't gonna lie. I'm being shady because, you know, Puff Daddy, he's yeah.
But similar to the Tiffany Henry thing, is drunk with power and forgetting that you still, like Don King said it better than anybody else. You're rich, you're a poor nigga, educated nigga, you just become an educated at the end of the day, you're still a nigga to them.
To them. And you're doing all this. You terrorizing your people for them.
They will allow you to do so because you're doing their dirty work. To destroy your own people, you're doing their dirty work. To create a culture like this where he's corrupting, you know, the morals of people around him. And it ain't just him. He has a circle. You
Of
know what I'm
course.
saying? You know what I mean? And so you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, and when you run out of your usefulness, they discard you. And that's
See,
a lesson
yeah,
they all
yeah.
need to learn.
Yep. His the sun has set on him in his career. He either did somebody wrong that didn't do somebody right. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you can pick up what I'm putting down. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why they call him Puff Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pat sitting up there gasping at stuff I'm saying, like you ain't used to the stuff that I be saying. What do you have to say about this piece of human feces that we call Puff Daddy?
Human fecal matter.
Yeah.
Joe just
I-
flushing everybody down the toilet.
I'm kind of in the same ballpark where I'm like, I'm surprised that people are surprised.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, when I was growing up, again, Joe and I are basically the same age. I thought everybody thought Puffy was weird. Like I thought everybody, like
Okay,
I
so it wasn't just
literally,
me.
yeah,
So it
no,
wasn't just me.
I
Okay.
thought everybody understood that there was something off with Puffy. But seeing the way people are responding to this, I'm kind of like, huh. Oh. Like, it's just confusing. Because for years, we've been telling jokes about Puffy being weird. You know, like everything Puffy does has kind of been just a little off. It's just like 7 degrees left. But but it's apparently it's like, oh,
Yes.
apparently everybody don't see 7 degrees. I guess I don't know if they eyes ain't. And this again, this ain't one of those like where I'm like, oh, now that you see some like, oh, I've been to it. No, no, Puffy was like legit. Like there were conversations being had since the 90s
Yeah.
about Puffy.
Yeah. And some of the stuff he been doing.
So, and not all of them were centered around him being gay. Some of them were centered around him being abusive, him being a thug, him being a hoodlum, him being a black mob boss, if you will. Like there were all of these conversations around the crazy stuff orbiting Puffy. And I want to say it picked up when he started doing the Making the Band series.
Before
I
that,
mean, it's some pretty gangster stuff to have motherfuckers walking through the streets at the middle of the night to get you some cheesecake.
but before that,
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I sent some motherfuckers to the streets at night to get me some cheesecake. No.
I'm just saying. Like, no, I know it was
get a piece of cheesecake.
I know it was before that, but I'm saying I feel like I think I remember it picking up around that time.
It started,
when
yeah,
he
the
was-
momentum, yeah. But
Yeah, when he
remember, this
started
was
with
after
making
Shine, though.
right. It was, yeah. But
He ruined that
you know,
man's
and the
life.
way he was sitting in the room, and like I still remember, like you know, you seem like you got some in you.
Wait, remember he had that campaign?
Bro, so it's like there's a bunch of different signs of Puffy not really giving about other people. So I'm kind of confused. As far as the apology goes, I don't care nothing about somebody that apologizes after they get caught. Um there have been some private situations that have shown up that have arrived where both of you brothers have apologized to me about things that I didn't even know was a thing beforehand because you felt some type of way in your spirit about what had transpired. I can respect that, and I do respect that, and that's one of the reasons I continue to respect you all is because there's a code to your own character that
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's found out or not. I know that it happened, and I want to make sure. And to be clear, it was never nothing nefarious, nothing like that. Like it wasn't nothing crazy. It was just like I feel this type of way about this thing that was said or that happened or a joke or whatever the case might be, and I want to, and that those apologies matter. If you got to be checked to apologize,
yeah, you ain't.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, you ain't. Basically, and we all know that the apology is about trying to maintain what's left of the image that he has. He's trying to save his career.
Damage
I didn't know
control.
that the apology was 8 years old.
No,
I
no,
ain't know this shit at all.
No, the apology is new.
right.
Oh,
The video
the
is
event
old.
was 8 years old.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The apology is new, but the apology really is him trying to save his career. But you know, let's take a look at certain things, because Pat, you hitting on something. There have been signs that he been. First of all, he named himself Puff Daddy. And so, you know, but there have been other signs of him, you know, being a nefarious person. So I remember different rumblings and different rumors in the 90s. But let me share my screen real quick. There was a gentleman named Mark Curry in 2009. He published this book, Dancing with the Devil.
Yeah.
And it's he said Mark Curry is an ex-Bad Boy recording artist that has recorded several hits with Sean P. Diddy Combs and has recorded some of the biggest stars in the music business. Mark Curry resides in Atlanta. Oh, that don't. But basically, the book was like about the negative dealings that you've had with Diddy and the negative things. It's called Dancing with the Devil. Whatever happened to Mark Curry, I don't know, but this is something that I do remember prominently in my brain of like one of the first explicit accusations or explicit marks against Diddy, saying, hey, this dude is a bad dude. Something is wrong with this dude. The lifestyle that he is living is off. And then we started hearing about the parties. Everybody is, the Jamie Foxx parties. If you know about Hollywood, the Jamie Foxx parties and the P. Diddy parties, right? Those are the extravagant parties. Those are the weird parties. Those are the parties that you might not want to walk in that next room. Matter of fact, yeah, don't walk in that next room because Diddy gone.
You want to see some stuff?
Diddy,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, right. But I remember there's a video years ago where Diddy, I don't know if he even realized what he said, but he was talking about when Usher was young and when Usher first came into the music industry and starting his career, and how he and Usher used to wrestle with their shirts off. And the way he said, yeah, me and Usher used to be in the living room, being there rolling around, tussling and just wrestling with our shirts off. Why did you have to be so explicit about telling us that y'all wrestling with your shirts off? That's my antenna raised up on that. Okay, so we got the Dancing with the Devil book. We got him saying this, but also the Shine situation as well. The Shine situation. Diddy ruined Shine's life. They went back to a club. Diddy shot, allegedly, from the information, allegedly Diddy shot the lady in the face. Matter of fact, I saw a video not too long ago of Shine admitting that Diddy ruined his life, that he was the fall guy. We all knew Shine was the fall guy at the time. Diddy, Jennifer Lopez, and Shine. Who's going down?
Yeah.
Right. So, but just that right there, you ruined this man's life to save your reputation after allegedly him shooting a woman in the face. A woman in the face, and you ruined this man's life. Okay, now a lot of people believe that Puff was behind Biggie being eliminated. Remember his behavior at Uptown Records when he was coming up that got him fired. I'm throwing this in there because it's funny, but when Andrew Gillum was running for governor of Florida, Diddy came down and did a concert in Tallahassee, and that was real chummy. Yeah, I'm just throwing that in because that's funny to me. That ain't real stuff.
Same Andrew Gillum that got caught up in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I'm saying, but also I'm saying this too, because when I saw that, I thought that wasn't a good look for Andrew. I thought it was a good look. I understood why he was doing it, but I thought that wasn't a good look for Andrew because of who Diddy who we were learning about and hearing about who Diddy was and all the things that Diddy was surrounded by. And even the rumors that we heard about Diddy and Kim Porter and how he used to treat Kim Porter. And then now this Cassie stuff is coming out. And so it's a lot of things with Diddy that's on Front Street that is showing we have decades and decades of allegations and information and things that should have made us think twice about this cat. But this reminds me of the R. Kelly situation, but they just caught this one a lot later, right? Because
we fucking got him.
it reminds me because people knew that Diddy was doing these things, and they were supporting these things happen. You know, we're seeing all these videos with the bodyguards coming out saying this was happening, and all these things, and everybody's coming back to saying what they could not do because of the power Diddy had, not understanding you all were the power that Diddy had. If all of you would have said, no, we're not doing this, he would have been done a long time ago. You all gave him that power. You all were his muscle. If everybody he calls to say, hey, I want y'all to go do this, and you say no, well, if everybody say no, where's his power coming from?
Some of them did say no, and they ended up dead.
Other people say
right, and not enough people. That's what I'm saying. Not enough people. If enough of them would have stood up, but people were worried about their careers and their money and trying to be famous.
Yeah, I mean, it was even rumored that Cassie was there for the Kim Porter abuse, and she thought it was funny.
Look, okay. Cassie was victimized, but nobody made Cassie get with Diddy. There's a video out of when Cassie came into the music industry. She was with Ryan Leslie, and the allegations are, well, the video is a negotiation between Ryan Leslie, Cassie, and Diddy and his team and stuff. But the allegations are, or the rumors are, that Cassie left Ryan Leslie to be with Diddy.
She monkey branched.
So she wanted to go dance with the devil. Now she was victimized. We all seen the tapes and everything. Diddy, that doesn't mean she deserved to have hands put on her and the crazy things that happened to her. Not saying she deserved that, but what I am saying is when you trying to be famous, and you sign up to dance with the devil, you're gonna end up dancing with the devil.
Well, here's why I'm gonna push back on that a little bit, Joe. And the only reason I'm pushing back on that just a little bit is because it's not like she didn't see him do this to another woman. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she didn't see him do this.
Oh, so no, you on the same page with me, because that's what I'm saying. She signed up to dance with the devil. Like she didn't have to do that, but also she didn't have to be there. But also, like you're saying, when she saw that stuff, she stayed.
Hold on, Joe. Let them cook.
She chose, and this is where we have to stop allowing for people to emerge as victims all the time. Like she chose to enter into that space where she saw that abuse and all that toxicity taking place, and she looked around and said, I'm excited by this. And a lot of women do, especially like you have the neighborhood. So take Puffy out of it and take Cassie out of it for a second. You have a lot of people like the college girls. A lot of the cute black college girls, the reason why they don't choose the dudes that's in college is because they're excited by the drug dealers come on college campuses, and they're excited by the gangs, they're excited by the guns. So they go off and get with those dudes a lot. We've all seen it. And you know what I'm saying? Within that lifestyle that there's some violence. Within that lifestyle that the person you choose to deal with flies off the handle. And you may become a victim of that. And there was one sister that said she would rather have a black eye with a Rolls Royce than catching a bus or some shit like that. So, you know what I mean? You can't keep saying that, because like I said, I don't condone any man putting his hands on a woman. I don't condone people putting their hands on each other, period, unless you want the recoil. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you've seen somebody come out of a dark alley, battered and bruised, but you think that you can get something out of that, when you go into that dark alley, You got to be accountable for the shit you come into.
You signed up to dance with the devil.
And at this point, it's not about being young and dumb, because you got young girls at age 13 that knows these rules, that knows these outcomes and things of that nature. And so this whole thing, the cycle of young and dumb, all this stuff is public knowledge. All this stuff is in the gossip columns, blogs, and this and the other. So the next person that does it, how innocent are they in this particular part of the part of the story? And right. I'm not saying they deserve to be battered or bruised, right.
But we saying the same thing.
Right. I'm not swimming with sharks and not expecting to at least get bit by one.
Like I say, I liken this to the R. Kelly situation, because it got to a point to where people, like after the tapes came out, R. Kelly, like around 2001, 2002. After the tapes, you still have young girls and parents taking their young girls to be with him.
Right.
So, because of the lifestyle and the fame that everything could bring with it. Mm-hmm. And so the same thing with Diddy. Like there were decades and decades of rumors, like if you partying with Diddy, there's you have to give up something to be a part of this. You have to give up something.
You have to give up your soul. Right. But you have to give up your soul.
Right.
And this is the part that spoke to earlier, that people are willing to sell their souls. You just said to yourself, what's the boy Mark, whatever his name is? Mark Curry, right? And he used to be the one that was actually was with Biggie all the time, right? So Mark Curry writes the book Dancing with the Devil. Yep. And we all know what that means. Yep. So everybody that like the devil's on the dance floor just spinning around. And okay, my turn. You don't know that's the devil right there?
when you sign up for some bullshit, you're gonna get some bullshit.
Right. So, and that ain't to put the whole thing on her, because it's still like 70-80% puffy. But I'm just saying she gotta encourage some of that.
I mean, you signed up to dance with the devil. That's all we saying is you did sign up to dance with the devil.
Right. I think the challenge we have is a couple different, you know what I'm saying? It's layered a couple different ways. There is social accountability, a group responsibility, accountability that everybody wants to lump. And then in that, we end up like it becomes a bad thing to talk about individual responsibility or accountability, which is what you guys are hinting at. And the reason why that oftentimes like doesn't yield the results that we think it should is because the individual needs to be able to reflect and properly see what happened. As a group, we need to be able to do that. And then we need to be able to instill those lessons down to the next generation so that they don't make those same mistakes. What ends up happening when we have these conversations is that everybody says Puffy's fucked up, Puffy's fucked up, Puffy's fucked up. Oh, well, Cassie was young and dumb.
No.
And so then the next generation of people don't really know how to identify, get themselves excuses for being in bad situations by saying, I was young and dumb, I was young and dumb, I'm young and dumb, I'm young, I'm supposed to have fun, I'm supposed to do this. So I think it becomes a situation where how do you toe that line of saying, yes, Puffy deserves every bit of backlash he gets, but we also need to analyze Cassie's role in this situation so that we can prevent other young girls, other young people, because Cassie wasn't the only person that Puffy victimized. How can we prevent other young people from putting themselves in a situation? How do we make it work? Because right now, young people are getting dumber. They're not getting smarter. They're making mistakes now that in our generation we would have never made.
Yep.
So how do we have that conversation where we say socially, we can acknowledge that there are bad people in the world, but individually, you have some responsibility if you decide to interact with one of them?
Yes.
That's a good question.
Yes.
Because that leads to because we're dealing with that now, right? And these young people don't have, like, there used to be a buffer group. They weren't quite old heads, but they were, the big bros. You know what I'm saying, in the community. The big bros don't exist no more. All these cats are running by their own accord. When I say big bros, you're talking, and then we used to have the aunties. They used to school the girls, school the women. We don't have that no more. We got a bunch of people who they're like the so-called big bros. These dudes want to be thugs again. So-called aunties, they want to be hoes again. They want to be out here in these streets competing and hanging with the young girls. So, you know what I'm saying? We don't have a group where that's actually that's in position where these young people are even respect, because the people they should be respecting want to be like them. In terms of like morals and judgment and opinions and things of that nature. I mean, you look at Puff, like you said, Cassie wasn't the last one. He was just last year, wasn't it? Young Miami talking about she wanted to be his girlfriend.
Well, in that situation, Young Miami, but he was also, from what I remember, messing with this young Asian young lady who's supposed to be pregnant from him at the time. I guess she didn't have the baby, but it was allegations of him abusing her.
I mean, damn. Steve Harvey couldn't keep his daughter from him. Wasn't she dating him and his son?
Yep.
I mean,
that right there. That's it. Come on, man. This man dated the ex of his son.
Right.
Come on, who do that? What man does that?
So this, but it speaks to the highly weird, right? And it speaks to the society of kissing cousins, because that's what a lot of this stuff comes from. Those so-called they consider themselves to be aristocratic in regards to the rest of us. They consider themselves to be royalty in regards to the rest of us. They consider themselves to be of a certain class and status that they only intermingle in those classes, and they only bring people up like on some Cinderella shit. So Cassie was on the Cinderella role. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time they get invited to the ball. But when you have those sick and twisted societies, they do some sick and they do some deranged sort of things. Like they're not satisfied with like like a basic monogamous encounter, or even if you want to do things extra, they are on some next level debauchery. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I've heard about what goes on in those parties, and I've had people who've been in those parties, and they talk about there's certain rooms you don't even have access to because there's rituals going on in those rooms. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they talk about the fact that there are things that have been rumored that have taken place. You look at what happened with Whitney Houston in that party that, she was allowed to be in a bathtub for 4 hours after she died because they wanted to continue with the festival with the award show going on downstairs. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that her daughter died the same way. This is like a sick and twisted environment. But to bring it back to Puffy, you know what I mean? He is another example of how no matter how you try to spend it, when you allow yourself to be in a corrupt situation and you allow yourself to be corrupted by power, that power will corrupt you absolutely. And so now he doesn't even have the benefit of generational wealth at this point.
He doesn't even understand that the power that he was given that little minuscule pieces of power by the white power structures in the music industry, and you were given that power to terrorize your own people.
Mm-hmm.
You were a literal pawn of the system of white supremacy to tear down your own people, like mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, like all the different ways you could think of. Somebody can tear down a group of people, tear down the people closest by them, or just black people, period. He was involved in all of this, creating the music, like doing the beating on people, the alleged essays, all these different things that came with this human.
Was it him and Jennifer Lopez just like all over each other in Central Park? like
Man,
out public.
man, come on. Like, you know what? When I saw that, when that happened, him and Jennifer Lopez, I was like, that was one of the first, because I don't remember what year that was, but I think I'm like high school. And it's like another stamp that money will make people do crazy. And man, Jennifer Lopez and Diddy, seriously?
Well, I'm like in the park. I mean, you know, there's like, you know, it's
It's
like,
him.
like, come on, man. That's just one of those things where you think that you are infallible, like you think that you're untouchable,
I'm on top of the
or
world.
right, yeah, like you're bulletproof now, like you know what I'm saying, like you're forever in this ivory tower where nobody can touch you. And he pissed off somebody because somebody's touching him.
Well,
Now had him on the run, and you know what I'm saying, dude had to fly away. He probably somewhere, some non-extradition country, somewhere shooting that apology video. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And for what? For who? For what now? Because at this point, this is when you start asking those questions. I did all that for who? For what? And when you know what I'm saying, you see all the different people that are coming out now. And like I said, I don't really have a lot of respect for a lot of them. I give Gene Deal some dispensation because he was the first one to start talking.
What was
But
that?
Gene Deal, that was the security guard that was there the night Biggie got shot.
I ain't them security. Hey man, y'all could have chose different, but you didn't.
True that. But like I said, you know, but and I put Japan about to jump in.
No, go ahead.
Now I just like I said, man, I think about how we clamor all these things. Like, cause be honest, black people have been locked out of wealth in a lot of places in this country. We've been locked out of wealth when it comes to real estate. We've been locked out of wealth when it comes to commerce and government. We've been locked out of wealth when it comes to the energy, this, that, and the other. The only place black people actually thrived wealth wise was in sports and entertainment. And for the most part, and I'm not talking about the 2 or 3 you can pick out here and there, but I'm just talking about sports and entertainment. And we see time and time again our athletes and entertainers always get caught up in some shit to where their money, their wealth, that the wealth that they can accumulate, because they're just rich right now, that they can accumulate, how it can actually be utilized to empower other things going on in the black community. And we never see it. And so, and this is just one more instance somewhere, you know what I'm saying, when you don't care for your community, you know what I'm saying, this is what happens to you.
Yeah, but you know, I agree. I guess the one part I don't like about that being one of the main vehicles for us building generational wealth is, you know, especially if you're a man, well, you got to do a lot of different stuff and most likely give up your back door. So yeah. Go ahead, Pat.
That made me forget what I was finna say. But I think one of the things at play here is like, it's not like, so with the Diddy situation, it gets to be interesting. One, because of the amount of people. I think it goes back to what Joe was saying. Like, black people, we need to understand that we're not in a position to where we can't be individuals. And this is what I mean when I say that. We aren't in an environment where we can think about ourselves before we think about the next black person over.
Right.
Like, not if we truly want to get ahead as a people. Like, and we love to say, well, white people this and white people that. Well, when you own 97% of the wealth of a nation, that's one of the privileges that comes with owning the vast majority of the wealth. Just by you existing in that space, you're contributing to it. When your group owns everything, you can be an individual and not hurt the group.
Individual power comes from group power.
But we don't have that luxury. So a black person can't sit up there and say, well, I'm going to do what I need to do to get my money and have it not negatively impact the black collective. That's kind of how that plays out. So, and then you think about the dynamics of power. The dynamics of power are such that powerful people only have power because other people have given their power to them.
Yep.
Everybody, in my opinion, this is my view on power. Everybody is born with a small group of power, a small set of power. We call that agency. Everybody has their own ability to make decisions for their lives. Powerful people become powerful by gaining the agency of others. If Joe and PC say, you know what, Pat, you can make this decision for me, they've given me their agency. Now I become powerful. So my power isn't inherent to me. My power is inherent to my ability to convince other people to allow me to make decisions for them.
Yep.
And so you take that power back by removing the ability of the individual to make decisions for you. Puffy's power was centered in the fact that other people allowed him to make decisions for them. Hey, go over there and do that. All right. Hey, go over here and do that. All right. Hey, go. Never mind what you get for it. That's irrelevant. Now we talking about economies, business, and other things. When we start talking about what do you get for the exchange of your autonomy, your agency, but just in terms of power, this is what makes corporations powerful. 5,000 people showing up to do something that the corporation told them to do. That's a powerful entity. So when we have these conversations, now we're talking about, okay, Diddy was just so powerful. What does that mean? That means a bunch of people were willing to do what Diddy said.
Yep.
Okay, so now it's not about Diddy being powerful. It's about all of those people that were willing to do all of the bad and harmful and negative things that Diddy said do. Why were they willing to do that? For a couple of dollars? Okay, well, now we're having a conversation about the moral fabric, the cultural competency of people in these circles. Now we're having a much deeper conversation, but we can't, even with Cassie, Diddy said, get back in the room. She went back in the room. Now I understand people would say, yeah, but she was afraid. I'm not taking that away from it. I'm not taking anything away from the fact that she was afraid, and fear is a very powerful emotion. It's a very traumatizing state of mind to be in. But when we're just talking about the dynamics of power, we love to use this this quote, this phrase. I don't even know if it's a quote, where it's become a quote since Michael B. Jordan said it in Black Panther. You know, the whole thing about throw me off the boat so I could be at the bottom of the ocean with my ancestors, because they wouldn't. Okay, so those were people that chose to die over give away their own individual agency, over giving away their own individual power. And we all like to say that we have that in us, which is funny because I don't know how we have that in us, because all of them jumped over the boat. So their genetics did get passed down.
Right.
So, but in any case, whatever. But moving forward,
that technical Ted.
That's how that translates to a motherfucker saying, you know what, I'm gonna be broke, homeless, and can't pay my bills before I let another motherfucker tell me to do some crazy shit. It ain't a lot of them people out there. So, but how do we develop those people? Because we know that at every turn, those people don't get to pass on their genes. Survival of the most flexible, survival of the adaptive. If you hardcore on a moral belief, you're not very adaptive. You're not gonna get to pass on your genes. But now we in a situation where we need people that are like that. How do we create those individuals?
Typically, circumstances create them. But like you said, man, you know, they die off. And we gotta remember, man, we are part. Like the majority of us are descendants of those who did not fight.
Who was subdued? Yeah, most of our ancestors were subdued. We have to be honest about that. Right,
and the fight was taken out of them. They weren't the fighters. I wanted to say they weren't the ones that, you know what I'm saying, that will lay on the line. They weren't the ones that would be willing to make the major sacrifice so to stop the bleeding. And they weren't doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the majority of what we deal with now, like if you think about it, right, it's probably less than 1 million. I say less than 500,000 Black people who are actually honestly like even considering being conscious towards the struggle of Black people in this country. Out of that, you probably have maybe 2 to 3% of that actually want to get active about fixing and curing and solving those things. And I'm talking about not passive gestures and things that nature, like sharing posts and all that other shit, but people who are actually willing to be part of grassroots. So you probably got the reason why the community, so you probably got like 2,000 people across the country that actually about, and then think about the sickness that in the lack of continuity that's within that sector. You know what I'm saying? There's a very small segment of black people, but then you look at the numbers and you think about all the people that actually fought back, and it actually averages out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
But you know, you make me think about too though, because one of you said that what Cat Williams said earlier, like you got to tell Diddy no, right? So
tell them no.
So Cat Williams to even say that means everybody knows how this dude get down, right? Everybody know how Buddy get down. So if the saying is you have to tell this dude no. Why is he like going back to what Pat was saying? Why are people still giving him the agency? Why are they still giving him the power to get down the way he get down? Remember the drink champ episode when Jada, that's when Jadakiss and Fabulous put out they joint album, and they invited Diddy on the show, and Diddy was looking at Fabulous like, hey Playboy. He kept calling him daddy. Yeah, daddy. We got the party, daddy. And Fabulous was talking about we didn't party, like, yeah, daddy, but now we ain't party. It's right there. The stuff is on camera. All right. Well, let's look at this. The people from Uptown Records, they met their demise. The people who are working with him with Uptown Records met their demise. Realistically, the Locks are the only ones who really survived Bad Boy. I used to say Faith Evans and the Locks, but right now the Locks are the only ones who really actually still have a career. So right now, at the point, it was Faith Evans and the Locks who survived Bad Boy. Nobody else survived Bad Boy. Look at all the artists. We know what happened with Biggie. Craig Mack fell off. All the other artists on Bad Boy fell off. We know what happened with making the band. You know, a lot of those artists got hosed. Diddy was known for hoes and artists. Even Mace is now coming out talking, and Mace's musical career don't exist no more. Mace had to reinvent himself into a podcaster, but even Mace is talking about how he wasn't getting paid from Diddy, and a lot of people are saying, well, Diddy didn't pay. Well, why now? Because of the lawsuit and stuff that Cassie's got and her husband got going on. So the band was ripped off. But once again, going back to what Pat was saying, everybody gave this weirdo the power to be who he was. This dude named Puff Daddy, and y'all turned him into a gangster. He was really operating like a mob boss against his own people. Take that. Can't stop, won't stop. It's Bad Boy for life. All that stuff got new meanings now.
He became a demigod amongst them, somebody to be worshipped. Right. And especially after, Suge Knight went to jail. The fall of Death Row. You know what I'm saying?
Suge was trying to tell us. But even though Suge was a piece of toilet water too, but he was trying to tell us.
Well, I mean, basically, you had two men who had the ability to create empires, and they both are in shambles right now because they both one got drunk off being a crime lord, and the other one got drunk off this Diddy shit.
Drunk off back doors,
right? So,
and we.
But I think the base part about all this too is like Pat was saying earlier, man, we gotta, as a collective, man, we gotta sort things out in terms of how we collectively respond to certain things and how we collectively move forward. Because it's kind of like Puffy. is not alone in this whole thing about not paying entertainers and stuff like that. That's just like the culture. These cats don't get paid. But they get paid just enough to stay on to stay on the gravy train. A bigger part of this is the fact that we as a community don't have standards in terms of how people treat us, but we celebrate them, and then we try to celebrate people, individuals, and then when you take those individuals down, it destroys everything that collectively could have been gained. And it's kind of like the you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the conscious community, right? Instead of dealing with the issue of police brutality, we want to focus on George Floyd. Well, you can, find flaws in George Floyd. You can actually discredit Candace Owens, basically got her talk show career off of discrediting George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? His characteristics and so forth, and even how he was murdered. So, but when you put it on when you put the emphasis on the collective action of police brutality, then you don't have those, individual stories. And the same thing with this hip hop shit. Puffy got power because people idolized Puffy. They didn't idolize the genre. They didn't have standards for how the genre will run. They didn't have a good positive, like the public image of hip hop is gutter shit.
Mm-hmm.
The public image of hip hop is motherfuckers getting killed every 2 weeks. That's been the public image of hip hop lately. The nasty, disgusting displays of a sexy red or a Sukiyana. That's been the image of hip hop. And we just celebrated hip hop's 50th anniversary. And this is the culmination of what hip hop looks like right now. And it's because we idolize people instead of, the industry itself. And therefore, those people become too important. They become too big to fail in our community until the other community that controls the hip hop community actually puts their foot down, and then they slam it. And Puffy ain't the only one, but he's the latest.
Yeah. He's. We're sure. Unfortunately, more are going to come. More stuff is going to come out about more other people because the lady Jaguar Wright has been saying a whole lot of stuff for a while. A lot of people are trying to say Jay-Z is going to be next, and some of these other people. It's too much. But once again, even looking at the Jaguar Wright situation and a lot of stuff that she says, I don't know what's true and what's not. But there was some agreement in allowing these behaviors to continue because people wanted to achieve a goal. And to achieve this goal, I got to walk through this boo-boo to achieve this goal. And they're willing to walk through the boo-boo. And after they walk through the boo-boo, they claim victim. No. Bad things did happen to you. And they should not have happened to you. But you chose to walk through the boo-boo. You chose to walk through the boo-boo, right? And so now everybody like, well, this happened to me and this happened to me. Hey, say no. Say no. Hey, tech. We have evidence of artists who were able to carve out very lucrative and successful independent careers. Tech Nine is one of them who stayed true to the independent game and was able to. I would have Tech Nine career any day over Jay-Z career any day.
Well, I think the thing that. Because we really need to. I like the argument of selling out because that's what a lot of them are doing. They selling out for trinkets. So we need to have a real conversation about the value of those things. We also need to have a real conversation about helping people define how much they really need. Because there's a lesson there in anybody that can't be fulfilled, that can't be satiated. Anybody that says there's no such thing as having too much money might be somebody that you might want to, I ain't saying it's a red flag,
It's
but
a
it's
flag.
a yellow one. Yeah, it's something you might want to observe. Anybody that can't be fulfilled is somebody that we need to be looking at, but we can't have those conversations because we're kind of teaching everybody to always try to get more. You know, like you had these conversations. What would you do for $1 billion? And a lot of people, anything. I would do anything for $1 billion. You know, and then you say, okay, well, now that you got $1 billion, what would you do for another $1 billion? Those some people would still say anything. And so that's an interesting thing. Like, okay, I could understand the first $1 billion, you going from nothing to something, but after you got if $1 billion ain't enough for you to set a standard for yourself,
Yeah. Hey.
what are we doing? But it also, we need to restructure how we talk about success.
Yes.
Tech Nine was successful, is successful,
very successful.
but we also need to understand that the life and times of UGK before they became national powerhouses, that's also success. There are a lot of local artists that are paying their bills, making $60,000, $70,000 a year with just doing music or just painting and they're never going to be millionaires, but they're able to survive and sustain themselves off of doing what they love to do. That's success. So we need to paint a different picture. If you can eat off what you do, it don't matter what you eat. And if you can eat off it, you're doing good, especially in America, where you're inherently doing better than 80% of the global population.
Greed. Greed. So in the there's a scene in the movie Apocalypto where they're sitting around the fire and one of the elders is telling the story about the man who came into the jungle, and all of the animals gave this man their abilities because the man was lacking something on the inside and the man was trying to improve itself. But the owl, the wise one, the owl looked into the man's eyes and saw he had a hole in his soul, and basically telling the other animals in the forest that no matter how much you give this person, because this person has this hole in their soul, it's an insatiable appetite. It'll never be fulfilled. And they're going to continue to take and take and take and take and take and take and take until there's no more to take. But that hole still won't be filled. That's exactly what Pat is talking about. But that's exactly the people that go into these industries that allow a monster like Diddy to exist. Diddy is a succubus, a vampire who thrives off of the weaknesses and the desires of other people. And that's how he continues to grow. That's how he continues to become more powerful and just be able to continue at all, sucking the life out of those around him. Diddy is a succubus, a cold-hearted succubus. And if it wasn't for everybody else around him who he was able to suck off of the talent, that life forces and everything, we would know who he is. And one thing he has to realize, and I'm not wishing nothing, but he has to realize, brother, you a father. You have daughters too. Do you not really? Do you what?
But people that, and that's the other thing. People that need to have a child to understand the damage they're doing to other people are people that should not be having children.
Right. Oh, say that. Please say that again. This gonna be a clip. Because I'm making this a clip because I want y'all to listen to what he just said. Say that again.
Well, I just said it, and you're gonna make it a clip.
Yeah, I said it.
But yeah, people that need to have a child in order to understand the negative things that they're doing to other people. My camera's messing up. People that need to have a child in order to understand the bad things that they're doing to other people should not be having children.
Right.
And that goes especially for women that need to have a son to understand that women do bad things to men, and for men that need to have a daughter to understand that they don't need to be fucking off with women. It should be vetting material for those people that are looking for somebody.
Right.
If somebody tells you, well, you know, I used to be like this, but then I had a kid and I'm not like that no more. If somebody fixes their face to tell you that,
right,
they're telling you something about who they are as a person. They need to experience things in order to understand the implications of their actions, aka they're not capable of wisdom.
Right. Right. And that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. A whole bunch of unwise Mickey Fickies. But on one end, it's the desires of the people to get to this next level, to be successful, to be famous. On the other end, we have a tyrant, we have a vampire, a succubus, an evil entity who's feasting off of these people's desires. And this is making him bigger. This is making him stronger. This is how we get to this point to where Diddy it's the downfall of his career, but we're now being exposed to more the horrible things that he was doing to people, because he's a messed up person. Now watch, the story of Diddy's life is gonna come out, and somebody gonna try to have some sympathy on trying to explain why he is the way he is. No, he just
Well,
at the end of the day, let's just call it what it is. Sean Puff Daddy Diddy Combs is a bitch. At the end of the day, all people do stuff like that.
You might as well go on full season 1 and say, if anybody got a problem with it, I'll fight you.
No, but why would you try to disagree with what I'm saying? Looking at all the stuff he's been doing, what type of person who not a don't do that?
Hey man, look, the mayor of Dalton, hot girl, city girl mayor, people defending her.
She a she a doing that shit, doing the same shit doing. She a bitch.
I'm just saying she got people defending her, Joseph.
Yeah, I get it, and they anybody who defending, if you defending Tiffany Dalton or you defending Diddy, you would be
Tiffany Henyard.
Oh yeah, I keep Dalton is the name of the city. Tiffany Henyard. Yeah, Dalton is the name of the city. Tiffany Henyard. Yeah, Tiffany Henyard. And I want to be specific. Tiffany Henyard, and anybody who defended Tiffany Henyard, I left y'all in the toilet this morning. There you go. So, hey man, ripping the Band-Aid off don't always feel good. Do it. We keep saying we want to be better. If we want to be better, well, we got to actually do the things to be better. So we got to have the tough conversation between ourselves, and then after the conversation, go actually be better. But we got to stop making excuses for why we're supporting bullshit.
From shit and bulls.
There you go. Hey man, fatlifestation.com, 6 p.m. Make sure you check it out. Link is in the description. fatlifestation.com. Support. Hit that like button, comment, share it, hit that super like button, all of that. Let's engage, let's stay engaged, but let's remember we got to clean ourselves up. What did you create Wukusu PC?
No, that was actually done by a good brother up in North Jersey. Damn, what's my brother's name? Shit, he gonna kill me too. But now it's a brother in North Jersey who had studied, but Malcolm X created Wukusu.
Well, he said wake up, clean up, stand up, but I know the brother, you saying the brother kind of put it as Wukusu.
Yeah, and other people mimicked it. Yeah.
We got to wake up, we got to clean up, and we got to stand up, or we need to shut the fuck up.
Right.
Joseph Ward, Patrick Irvin, Professor Carl Tone Jones. Catch y'all on the flip side.